Great. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, and you are Excellencies Ms. Fethria Rahmawati as our lecturer in semantic class. Firstly, let us thank to God Allah Almighty who has given us mercies and blessings till I can make this video. Secondly, salawat and salam always to the best prophet messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who has brought us from the darkness to the brightness till I know Islam and Iman. As instruction said that we have to do final project in making video or reviewing the materials that have been discussed in our group. But before it, let me introduce myself. My name is Haris. I'm the 5th semester of English Department A class. Well, as instruction said that we have to choose four materials that have been discussed of us. You can choose whatever you want. Here I choose materials that are, first is the ideas of meaning, and the second is the dimension of meaning part 2, and the third is the names or meaning relationship, and the fourth is semantic chain. Well, I begin from the first materials, that is the ideas of meaning. In ideas of meaning, or that is called as the source of meaning, you have to know that there are 5 sources of meaning. The first is dictionary, the second is a mental image, and the third is meaning and reverence, and the fourth is meaning and truth, and the last or the fifth is meaning and language use. Well, begin from the first one is dictionary. Dictionary is the book or electronic that consists or list of the word that can tell you what is the meaning of the word. Maybe you are a student of English department, you have Oxford Dictionary. When you need meaning of the word, you can looking at or you can seek that in your dictionary. That called dictionary. So the dictionary is the book or electronic that consists or a list of the word, like that. And the second is mental image. What is mental image? Mental image, that is the experience significantly or visually tell you what is the meaning, or visually that is receiving an object. When you hear the word book, you have an experience. You have an experience that can you imagine what is the book. The book consists of paper, like that. That is the mental image. And the third is meaning and reverence. Meaning and reverence, that is considered the actual thing that has relation and in that word. That is the actual thing that can be referenced when you hear the word pen. That maybe you have reverence. You have reverence. Or pen can have a small, or tall, or another example as you want. That is meaning and reverence. And the third is meaning and truth. That is the condition under which of it word. For example, like John is sleepy. John is sleepy. When you see the truth that John want to go bed, or John his eye like that, that is the truth. That is the truth. So you can see John is sleepy. That can be the truth, or can be the truth that you see. That is the four of the source meaning, namely meaning and truth. And the fifth is meaning and language use. Meaning and language use, maybe maybe that is called a situation when you when you when you are being cold in your room and your friend in the door, you say, please close the door. Beside it, you are being cold. You want your friend to close the door because you are being cold, like that. That is meaning and language use. That's all the ideas of meaning or meaning source. And the second is the dimension of meaning part 2, the second material summary. In second materials of dimension of meaning part 2, we have learned morphemes. What is morphemes? Morpheme is the smallest meaningful unit of grammatical language. Smallest meaningful units of grammatical language. In morphemes, there are two kinds of morpheme or classification of morphemes, namely free morphemes and bound morphemes. Free morphemes, that is the word that can stand alone as word. An example like word happy, that is morphemes that can stand alone without addition, can stand alone. Happy. And bound morpheme, that is the opposite of free morpheme, namely the word that cannot stand alone as word. When you see an, maybe you are confused. What is an? I don't get it. If you say unhappy and you meet happy, that cannot stand alone as word. If you say unhappy, because unhappy, that consists of one morpheme, namely unhappy, like that. And in the mention of meaning part 2, we have learned homonymy and polysemy. Homonymy, that sense of the word that have different meaning, and polysemy, that sense of word that can relate it to the other word. As example like headmaster, that consists of head. Head can be headmaster, head of vice, like that. That is can relate to the other word, polysemy. And lexical ambiguity. Lexical ambiguity. What is lexical ambiguity? This is often discussed by us either in second semester. What is lexical ambiguity? Lexical ambiguity, that is the word that has more one or more meaning. Lexical ambiguity, like the word bank, or the other word like forget that. Above all, lexical ambiguity, that is the word that has more than one meaning. A bank can be the side of river, or it can be financial institution, like that. And in dimension of meaning part 2, we have learned sentence meaning. What is sentence meaning? Sentence meaning, that is meaning of a sentence derived from its lexeme or every lexical, that is sentence meaning. That's all the material for that's all the materials for the second materials. And the third is the names or meaning relationship. Meaning relationship, here we have learned about hyponymy, hypernymy, and synonymy, and antonymy, and homonymy. Well, started from hyponymy or hypernymy. Hyponymy and hypernymy, that is the word that uh, that the word that has relation or has relation general and specific word. General and specific word, or maybe you can call as common, maybe. Okay, let me tell you what is hyponymy and hypernymy. Hyponymy, that specific, and hypernymy, that is general. General, I mean, I give you example like color. When you hear word color, maybe you are confusing. What is color? Color, color. It's hypernymy or general thing, general word. When you hear a word red, yellow, green, that is the color, kinds of color, or that is hyponymy. So color is hyponymy, and red, green, yellow is hyponymy. See what I mean? Okay. And the next one is synonymy and antonymy. What is synonymy? Synonymy is the word that different spelling, but is the same meaning. And opposite of that, that is antonymy. Antonymy is the opposite of synonymy. Synonymy, for example, like happy and glad. That is different word. That is different spelling, but has the same meaning. I mean, in antonymy, that is the opposite. Opposite, when you hear the word life, that is the opposite of die. Like that. See what I mean? Okay. And the next one is homonymy. Homonymy, that is spelling or spelling or pronunciation of that is the same, but whole different meaning. As example, when you hear bang again, that is spelled the same spelling and the same pronunciation, but has a different meaning for you. Okay, that the third materials. And the last materials or the third is semantic chain. What semantic chain? As you know, every language has burden of that, or maybe we can know there are four kinds of semantic chain. The first is semantic extension or broadening, and the second is semantic reduction or narrowing, and the third is semantic elevation or amelioration, and the fourth is semantic degradation or pejoration. Okay, beginning from the first, semantic extension or broadening. The word broadening, when you see the word broadening, every language has, as I said, that every language has broadened every day, as you want. When you hear the word bird, it means that all kind of bird, young bird, old bird, etc. But you have to know that bird is taken from word breed. Yeah, if I can spell breed. That is the meaning of that is young bird. But this language, as I said, that language has broadening, now become bird. Bird is all kind of bird, like that. And the second thing is semantic reduction, that is narrowing. Maybe we can say the opposite of broadening or semantic extension, namely narrowing. For example, like the word food. It's become narrowing. It's become a narrowing word when you see meat. It is narrowing from the word food, become meat, like that. And the third materials is semantic elevation. Semantic elevation or amelioration. Semantic amelioration, that when I give you example, when you hear the sentence, a plane flying 38,000 feet, that is amelioration, that belt dense of living 3 feet in the air, like that. And the third is semantic degradation or pejoration. That is more negative connotation or denotation. For example, like mistress. When you hear the word mistress, that is the female counterpart of Mister. That is the female counterpart of Mister. And taken a negative meaning or not related to its male counterpart, like that. Maybe that's all that I can review for these materials that I have shared you, or reviewing materials, namely the ideas of meaning, the dimension of meaning part 2, and the names or meaning relationship, or the last is semantic chain. Maybe that's all for review or fulfill the vital project of semantic class. If you find my mistake, forgive me because I'm learning. If you find a word that cannot be understood by you, forgive me because now, as I said, that I'm learning. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.